and then they just look at the reality of it. Clearly in the countries, China included, that have implemented since very strict kinds of programs of mitigation. Clearly it works in our own country. We've seen indication of that in Washington. Remember, Washington State was the first to get hit, but they put in a really good program of mitigation. And if you look at the charts that Dr. Berg showed the other day, they're still down there doing well. And the reason is, again, what I've said before, but I think it's worth reiterating, that we have two opposing forces here. The virus, which wants to do what the virus wants to do. Viruses transmit from people to people. When people are separated from each other, virus does not transmit. It doesn't go anywhere. And that's the reason why something as simple as the physical separation, because if you look at the Vice President's chart that he shows all the time here from this podium, every aspect of that ending the COVID outbreak in 30 days has some aspect of it of physical separation, whether that's avoiding crowds, whether that's staying 6 feet away from people, whether that's doing teleworking. All of it does that. That's our most important tool. We'll be talking about vaccines and drugs and things like that will mitigate later. But this is what we really have to do. And I want to actually just plead, as I do multiple times from here, to the American public. You know, as sobering and as difficult as this is, what we are doing is making a difference. So we really need to continue to do that. I must tell you, I was just mentioning to the Vice President as we came in, last night when I wasn't here, I went out with my wife and actually did a little power walking down Massachusetts Avenue. For those who live in Washington know what I'm talking about. And we passed a couple of restaurants where people were getting takeout food. The restaurants were closed to people going in, but they were open to takeout. And I saw something that absolutely made me feel really, really good. They were separating themselves by at least 6 feet. In fact, some of the restaurants had little things on the floor that said, stand here and then stand there. And I think if we as a nation pull together to do that, hopefully when we keep coming back here at these press conferences, we'll be able to show you that that curve that we keep talking about is going in the right direction. And I'll be happy to answer questions later. Thank you. Okay, please.
You said earlier that the virus is springing up in areas you did not expect. Yesterday you said some states in the country are not in jeopardy. The fact that this is unpredictable, isn't that an argument for every state to have one of these
I don't
stay-at-home
think so.
orders?
Look, there are some states that you have great distance, natural distance, big land, few people, and they're in very good shape. And if there is a case, they can quarantine that person, or that person will be separated, will be brought to a hospital, secure area. So you do have different cases as opposed to in New York or Los Angeles. Los Angeles is doing incredibly well, by the way. But areas where you have lots of people tight together, it's a big difference. So, no, they're different. There are many different cases, please.
You mentioned the military off the top, so 1,000 troops going to New York, and then are we expecting other mass deployments around the country? And then is it just the Army? Is it?
No, not mass. Many of the places are really in great shape. They really have done a fantastic job. And we may add to the 1,000, but New York will be getting about 1,000 military people, nurses, doctors, lots of other people, because that's what they need. Yeah, and that's medical. No, medical military. Please.
Sir, you tweeted earlier today that you liked the idea of a second coronavirus task force that was focused on reopening the economy.
Thinking about it.
So I was wondering if you were planning to go forward with that.
Thinking about it. Getting a group of people, and we have to open our country. You know, I had an expression, the cure can't be worse than the problem itself, right? I started by saying that. And I continue to say it. The cure cannot be worse than the problem itself. We've got to get our country open.
Reopening, can you talk about your call with the sports commissioners? Did you say you'd like to see fans back in arenas and
Absolutely, I want fans back in the arenas. I think it's by whenever we're ready. I mean, as soon as we can, obviously. And the fans want to be back too. You know, they want to see basketball and baseball and football and hockey. They want to see their sports. They want to go out onto the golf courses and breathe nice, clean, beautiful, fresh air.